students, today we're going to be conducting a lab to measure the rate of photosynthesis in leaves under 3 different light conditions. We are going to be doing this outside in the sun, we are going to be doing it inside under a grow lamp, and we're going to be doing it in the dark. Okay, so you're going to cover this cup with tinfoil. So the first thing you need to do when you get back to your lab station is you need to measure out 300 milliliters of distilled water. You cannot use sink water for this. It must be distilled water. So I have my 300 milliliters of water. This is going to be my solution that I use for all 3 of my trials. Okay. Next thing I need to do is I need to measure out 1.5 grams of baking soda or bicarbonate. I'm going to have that in my little cup. I'm going to drop that into my 300 milliliters of distilled water. Now, water has a lot of surface tension. And the whole point of this lab is to first get leaf chads to sink and then to measure how fast it takes for them, or how long it takes for them to rise up. So what we need to do is we need to break that surface tension, and the easiest way to do that is to go ahead and put just a drop of soap in our water. So I'm going to get some dish soap here, and I'm going to put a little drop of that in our water. We don't want too much because we don't want bubbles. I didn't manage to get a drop that time, but there we go. Get some soap in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stir this till all my baking soda is dissolved. Stir, 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 stir. All right. Now, there are 300 milliliters of solution in the beaker, and I have 3 cups. Pretty sure I'm going to put 100 milliliters of this solution into each cup. So I'm going to go ahead and use my graduated cylinder and measure out 100 milliliters of solution. Okay. I'm a very good pourer. I'm going to go ahead and pour this into my cup that says sun. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and measure out another 100 milliliters. I'm going to put this in my cup that says grow. That one's going to go under the grow light that's on the side of the room. And then the last, I don't even need to measure it. Hello. I'm going to put that in the cup that says dark. Okay, so I now have 3 cups that each have 100 milliliters of my water, baking soda, and soap solution. So the next step is I'm going to take a leaf and I'm going to punch little holes in the leaf. And the little discs that come out of here are called chads. I don't know why they're called chads, or why they're not called, bobs, but they just are. So I need 10 leaves per cup for a total of 30 leaves. So when I'm done, basically what I have, just little tiny round little leaf circles. Now, if you remember from our poggle, inside of the leaf there are air spaces, and those air spaces contain oxygen. The oxygen in those air spaces would cause our leaf chads to float. We don't want them to float right away. We want them to sink first. So I'm going to get my syringe, I'm going to pop out the plunger, and I'm going to put all of my leaf chads, oops, I got one on my shirt, put all those leaf chads into my syringe. Okay, make sure I get them in there. There we go. So I have all my leaf chads in there. Okay, pop the plunger back in. I don't want to squish them. I just want to push them kind of down towards the bottom. So now I'm going to suck up some of my solution out of my cup. Okay, and you will notice, if I can get it in there, that right now all of my leaf chads are floating at the top. I don't want floating leaf chads. I want them to sink. So I'm going to squirt all of the air out of here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a vacuum. And the vacuum is going to suck all of the air out of the leaves and replace it with this carbon dioxide water, this baking soda water that we've created. So I'm going to stick my finger over the top here, and I'm going to pull down on the plunger. Okay, and I'm going to swirl it around a little bit and let go. And now we can see that all of my leaf chads, oops, is that one? Nope, all of my leaf chads have sunk. So now if we look, you'll notice they're all at the bottom. All right? So the whole point of this lab is when the leaf chads start doing photosynthesis, oxygen is going to go back into those air spaces, and the leaf chads will start to rise up to the top of the cup. They will start to float. So now that I have them sunk, I'm going to go ahead and dump them into my cup here that says sunlight. Okay, make sure I get all my chads out of there. You will notice all of my leaf chads are down at the bottom of my cup. They're not floating. They've sunk down to the bottom. Now I'm ready to take this cup outside and let it get some sun. So I'm going to leave it outside in the sun for 15 minutes. And as I'm waiting, every minute, I'm going to count how many of these leaf chads have risen to the top or are in the process of rising. Okay, at the end of that time, come back inside. You need to do that same procedure for the grow lamp, and then the same procedure for leaf chads that are in the dark. Go out there and photosynthesize.